Mistakes to avoid. Dichotomous thinking. What is dichotomous thinking? The prefix di means two. When someone engages in dichotomous thinking, they divide everything into A, two and only two categories, and B, the categories are polar opposites. Anything that helps one category hurts the other. Examples of dichotomous thinking. Number 1. You're either for us or against us. There is no middle ground. Number 2. There are two types of people in the world. Winners, being those that have the will to succeed in life at any cost, and everyone else. Number 3. Positive thinking always helps situations. Negative thinking always hurts. Think positively. Is dichotomous thinking always bad? Absolutely not. Like a tool or medicine, dichotomous thinking can be valuable when used in appropriate situations, but very, very dangerous when misapplied. There are many situations where dichotomous thinking is good. For example, number 1, deciding who gets the ball first by flipping a coin. Sometimes we really do need to divide the world into only two categories. There are only two teams in sport X, and only one can pragmatically start with the ball. Number 2, Jimmy knows nothing about Hitler. To begin his study, he asks, was Hitler good or bad? Jimmy's teacher responds, bad. It is often difficult to grasp an entire picture or the complexities of reality all at once. Dichotomous thinking can serve to lead us down the right path of further inquiry. Yes, there are reasons why Hitler was bad that Jimmy's question fails to address, but Jimmy's more likely to explore them when he knows what he's supposed to look for, and asking this oversimplified question will help him do that. Number 3, those who have above a 70% average pass the class. Those who don't fail. Sometimes black and white lines need to be drawn to give people clear rules to help establish personal accountability. What causes dichotomous thinking? Mental traps and psychology. There are several mental traps that cause people to engage in the inappropriate use of dichotomous thinking. Here are two big ones. Number 1, caring passionately about an issue, having a strong emotional connection about a conflict. Number 2, wanting to feel that you have a strong or complete understanding of an issue, or conversely, wanting to avoid feeling stupid about a topic. This is very critical to remember. Just because you feel passionately about a subject, and/or this is the first place your brain took you to, does not mean you are correct. You are not quote-unquote entitled to your opinion when you engage in thought processes that are predictably and objectively wrong. The dangers of dichotomous thinking. Number 1, missing the existence of multiple or more relevant conflicts. When dichotomous thinkers put everything into only two camps, they miss the fact that there are often multiple conflicts occurring in any particular event. Consider the recent August 2014 events in Ferguson, Missouri. You either support the police or the protesters. Pick a side. Liberal dichotomous thinkers then support the protesters because they dislike police abuses, while conservative dichotomous thinkers support the police because they dislike looters. Both are missing the point. In Ferguson, a person may support the rule of law over lawlessness, meaning they detest the police arresting journalists in violation of the First Amendment, and they detest looting in violation of local ordinances. The police versus the protesters is not the only or necessarily most relevant conflict. Number 2, being forced to pick a side and irrelevant comparisons to the opposition. When dichotomous thinkers divide the world into two camps, it exerts psychological pressure on themselves and others to, number 1, pick a side, and number 2, to do so by comparing one camp to the other. This ignores the fact that the best answer may be to support both sides, or neither side, and that the choice of whether to do so should have, or often should have, nothing to do with the other camp. For example, liberal to conservatives. Why do you watch Fox News? Here are several examples where the channel knowingly lied to you. Conservative to liberals. Why do you watch MSNBC? Here are several examples where the channel knowingly lied to you. Conservative. MSNBC lies more, so I'm watching Fox. Liberal. Fox lies more, so I'm watching MSNBC. Why would you watch any news program that you believe intentionally lies to you? How does the existence of another channel's greater number of lies justify watching a less but still poor news source. Number 3, intense hatred, poor justifications, and cognitive dissonance resolution. When people believe that there is only one opposing side to their own and that that side is a polar opposite, humans are, number 1, easily prone to hatred and violence, and number 2, will begin to invoke and believe immoral or irrational arguments to defend their own side. For example, before the Civil War, Southerners began to justify slavery as moral in response to Northern attacks on the institution as immoral. Did you know that prior to these Northern criticisms of slavery as unethical, Southerners actually thought of slavery as a necessary evil for the functioning of the economy rather than a positive moral good? Number 4, complete mischaracterization of existence. Sometimes there are no two sides to an issue, conflict, or existence. For example, there is no such thing as white people or black people. Scientists cannot find any white gene that all quote-unquote white people have in common, and any two supposedly quote-unquote white people are as likely to be as genetically different from each other as they are from any quote-unquote black person. Number 5, missing the common good. Even when two camps exist, they are often not polar opposites. What is good for one side may be good for the other. This is often true in the case of economics. When foreign countries' economies are strong, foreign citizens have enough money to buy American products. Dichotomous thinkers often think that hurting foreign economies will help create American jobs because they cannot recognize the existence of symbiotic relationships. Number 6, quantum states and paradoxes. Dichotomous thinkers miss the fact that counterintuitive phenomena like quantum states and paradoxes exist. This severely limits their ability to learn and think critically. I'm not going to provide examples here, but I just want to let make you aware that these two things exist. And when you think dichotomously, it completely limits your ability to understand these phenomena. A paradox is when two opposites are simultaneously true, and a quantum state is when the thing being studied is in a yet to be defined state. The thing being studied is in multiple potential states yet to be realized.